Sawadee-ka, Namaste. Hello, beloved brothers and sisters. It is already December. Today we are going to talk about very basic things that we might be missing while we are very busy. First, I would like to ask you a question. What is it that I am describing? This thing we are missing. It can be called the wisdom of winning hearts. Some experts say that this is force that makes human beings great. It is the strongest power in the world. What do you think it is? Yes, what? I have prepared a lecture today under the theme of listening attentively. True parents said, the home is where we practice loving each other, and heaven is where we realize it. So we know that there is a prerequisite to making a happy family. It is learning the art of love. Brothers and sisters, do you know that loving is skill you have to learn and practice? I think our blessed families are all working hard to create happiness. This challenge that requires constant effort. Let's all give each other a round of applause and encouragement for what we have done to keep moving forward step by step every day. Thank you very much. As we already know, we need true love to achieve a happy family and society. True love is that gives, and gives without keeping score. Love is conveyed in words, and speaking is important for conveying the word of love. But it is even more important to understand the other person's heart by listening to them well. Love is the thing we must give to someone in order to empathize with the other person's 심정. Listening must come first. Since listening seems to be such a basic thing, people tend to neglect it rather than taking time to practice it. We say that love is giving, but what is giving? It is listening to the other person. Winning people's heart by listening is tremendous accomplishment. 아주. By listening to the other person's words with all your heart, you will join in a relation where you can resonate with the other person's heart and sympathize with them. If we say that knowledgeable person is one who speaks well, we can also say that a wise person is one who listens well. It is said that the wisdom of life often stems from listening, and the regret of life usually stems from speaking. Learning to speak could take a few years, but learning to listen is difficult, sometimes taking as long as 60 years. To gain the heart, to realize the truth, to master wisdom, we must open our ears. 아주. Listen carefully to what the other person says, and then you can listen to even a small voice clearly. Our reality seems to be complicated. People think in negative ways. No way! How does he think like that? You don't understand me. No matter how I say it, it wouldn't work. Yes, you can think whatever you want. You are wrong. This can be very frustrating. Am I the only one who feels like this? Yes, it happens sometimes, doesn't it? Today, we are going to talk about how to solve this complicated problem. First, let's look at the Bible again. The following passage are from John chapter 1, 1 to 5 phase. Let's read it together. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Let's take another look. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. 아주? We know the rule of giving and receiving action from the principle of creation. This is a principle that shows us that everything exists in relationship with other things, and that they interact with each other. This make me think that the concept of listening is based on speaking. Speaking comes from your mouth, and there is something you need for speaking. It is listening with your ears. You can't say anything you haven't heard, can't you? Can you? People who can't hear can't not speak. Listening comes from first when you learn foreign language. This demonstrates once again the importance of listening. Saint John told us in his Gospel that the Word proves the existence of God. We can say it this way: in the beginning was listening. 아주? Yes, 아주. I would like to introduce a story. A wife went to see a psychiatrist and told him, "I can't live with my husband anymore. He's too nervous and nagging." Then, after much consideration, the doctor prescribed the following prescription. There is a spring next to our hospital. Pump some of the spring water and bring it home. Take a sip of spring water when your husband comes home. The longer you hold it in your mouth, the better it works. But if you swallow it, it doesn't work. The wife holding water in her mouth when her husband came back home. After a while, he calmed down. A day, 2 days passed peacefully. When her husband started nagging, she kept the spring water in her mouth. After a while, his behavior began to change. And this went on. His nervousness decreased, the former behavior of treating his wife carelessly changed completely. The wife was surprised by this mysterious effect, so she begged the doctor to thank him. "Thank you very much, sir. The spring water worked really well. My husband has become a completely different person." The doctor smiled and said, "It's not because of the water, but because of your silence that your husband has changed." This example makes us rethink our speaking habit. We have a strong tendency to talk only about ourselves, but through this story, we can learn about the power of listening. Speaking can be learned in a few years, but silence is not so easy to learn. Silence and listening are of course different, but silence is the beginning of listening. Listening attentively is wisest way to win a person's heart. 아주, yes, 아주. True parents pay their utmost attention to whomever speak to them. In 1957 and 1958, what kind of person was I? I was a great listener who patiently listened to the story of every member, young or old, who wanted to share with me. People recognized me as someone who would listen to their stories, perhaps better than anyone else in Korea. When elder ladies came to see me, they would talk about their married life starting from their wedding day, even telling me exactly how they loved their husband. They shared everything they kept in their heart. Anyone who came to see me said, "Father, listen to all my story." When they had nothing left to say, I started to speak. Wow! Isn't that amazing? I thought true parents were only talking, but they listened better than anyone else. I remember that true parents asked the pastor to share their testimonies at every gathering and listen to them attentively. Dear brothers and sisters, there is a saying, first understand somebody and then try to make them understand. I hope our brothers and sisters will be able to learn fantastic listening skill through lots of practice. Good practice makes perfect. 아주? Yes. Next time, we'll make time to think more about how to relate to each other. I hope that you will cultivate the fragrant and beautiful flower of love through practicing true love, and that your families will be full of happiness. Thank you very much. I hope that all of you will be healthy and happy. Thank you very much. 가끔마카. See you again. 감사합니다.